Welcome back. In this segment, we want to talk about a practice good team leaders will get their teams into the habit of, and that is periodically we should be stopping after a cycle of work and getting together to talk about what's working and what do we need to change going forward to get better. In some organizations, they call it lessons learned, post-mortem. In the military, they call it after-action review. Whatever you call it, it's a good practice to get the team into the habit of. Again, think about the right time to do that, whether it be after a cycle of work or after a project or maybe even midway through a big project because you don't want to wait till the very end. But find that natural stopping point, pull the team together to have this conversation. Now, a few things around when you bring the team together to make it go well. And first, you want to make sure you cover both the what kind of aspects to the question, meaning how we're doing on our outcomes, our results, or what we're getting accomplished. And more importantly, the how question or the process questions and how are we getting it done? Is it sustainable? Do we feel good about the way we're getting it done? So both those things need to be looked at. One other thing that you want to think about is you think about getting the team together, and that is you don't want to be the person leading this. Let somebody else in the team who's got good facilitation skills, is seen to be, just have good people skills that can handle facilitating this conversation. Let them run this meeting. They're going to overreact to anything you say or do. So you want to almost diminish your presence in the beginning of this. Be sitting down, letting the team do most of the talking. You'll have your chance to weigh in, but you don't want to be the first one out of the blocks saying your thoughts, because then they're going to think that, well, maybe I better hold back because Rich is going to really dominate this conversation. You don't need to use a very complicated process to this. I use this thing here you see on the screen called plus delta. Straightforward. List out what worked well or what's working well so far that we want to keep doing going forward. What do we want to change up going forward? One thing you want to be ready for. If you've hired good people, more than likely, I've seen this many times, they'll throw one thing on the plus side and then they're going to want to jump over to the delta side. And this is where either the facilitator or you have to step in and say, hold on guys, pull them back. Let's stay with the plus side. There was a lot of things going on here that we need to recognize and call out. Flush that side out first. You might have to bring them back a couple of times because they'll want to go over here. It's almost, if you've hired good people, our muscle for criticizing ourselves is overdeveloped. We got to get better at recognizing first what's going well. The other thing I would think about is when you're having this meeting, it doesn't work as well if you're sitting around a table looking at each other, because then it too easily can get into a finger pointing, blaming and shaming thing. It actually works better if you get everybody to pull their chairs up by the flip chart and direct their attention there, or have the facilitator direct their attention there, so that we're kind of just capturing the key messages and key thoughts, not looking at each other and figuring out who's to blame. So a few things to make that process go well, but like anything, if you haven't done it before with your team, it's going to be a little awkward in the beginning, but with practice it gets easier and easier, and you're going to find that the team will start to look forward to this because they realize this is about learning and growing and developing, not shaming and blaming. So highly recommend you get into this practice.